Yo, your boy Jersey Murf back up in the building, partnering up with the great folks over at DraftKings. I know you can smell it. The playoffs are here, baby, and I couldn't be any more excited to relay to you what DraftKings told me because they want to get things kicked off in the correct manner. For all new customers placing a $5 bet, you will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. And all you have to do is head on over to your Google Play or Apple Store, download that DraftKings Sportsbook, enter the promo code TOPBILLIN, and get to playing. Want to know what you can do with those $200 in bonus bets? You can combine multiple bets from the same game for a chance at an even bigger payout. Imagine this. They are running those no-sweat bets. That's if your same game parlay doesn't hit, you can get those bonus bets back. And if you don't have online wagering in your state, DraftKings Daily Fantasy is your chance to get in on the fun and have a chance to win cash prizes. New customers, a $5 wager will get you $200 in bonus bets, and all you have to do is use my promo code TOPBILLIN at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, all right? What are you waiting for? The crown is yours.
What more can I say?
Top Billin. Yo, this has been the craziest, maybe not even 24 hours that I could remember. You had three of the greatest coaches of all time leave their respective posts. One due to retirement. My man Nick Saban at Alabama, the greatest college football coach of all time. The things that he did on the defensive side of the ball, man, virtually unmatched. You had everybody running with his scheme at one particular point in time, everybody wanting to get disciples of his. He's a disciple of one Bill Parcells, and his man, Bill Belichick, another Bill Parcells disciple. Those guys are like peanut butter and jelly. Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, right? Within maybe, 14 hours of each other, you get my man Bill Belichick, right? Ousted in New England. 6 Super Bowls. The greatest NFL coach of all time, or at least the most winningest or the most successful as far as winning championships. Bill Belichick is that dude. Same deal right there. And then you had Pete Carroll. Right? Definitely one of the greatest defensive minds of all time. A lot of people running with his scheme. You get a lot of people wanting his disciples as well. Super Bowl winner and back in the day, right? And actually got to another Super Bowl as well. Did his thing in college, man. One of the greatest college coaches. He was so fun to watch at USC, the type of energy and what they were building there. Man, incredible to think about all three of those guys within the same time period. With, you know what I'm saying, Pete Carroll being ousted in Seattle. People still looking for Bill Belichick to be carrying on coaching at 71 years old. Pete Carroll, 72 years old. I want to see him continuing to coach as well. So hopefully he doesn't hang it up and just goes in the Seahawks front office there. But if he is in the Seahawks front office, I find it very disingenuous, right? So I'm going to go through a list of candidates for the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks is definitely a very attractive job with the setup that they have right now. One of the better run organizations, probably top 5 run organizations as far as the base infrastructure there, the GM, how they conduct and do business there. And a lot of that has to do with Pete Carroll. So I'll go through the list of candidates on different videos there. But I'm going to tell you before I start this joint right here on Eric Bieniemy, who I'm not going to entertain as far as the Seattle Seahawks. If he gets hired there, then we'll deal with it then there. But out of respect to your man Pete Carroll, right? You guys are a fan of this guy. People claim to be that this guy's a legend and they love him. He brought the best time there. But then a lot of the guys come in the comment section and suggest one, Jim Harbaugh, right? Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll hate each other. They are arch nemesis, competitive rivals since back in the day. They've had some of the most surliest moments there, some of the funnest moments if you just like competitive football or just people with competitive natures, period. Come on, do you guys not remember their exchange? Right? All you Jim Harbaugh Seattle fans, you not remember their exchange in college? Well, let's go and look at it right here.
Oh, the Trojans would be. Look at them all running in. Look at them all running in.
Now, Jim Harbaugh will come to the center of the field to meet Pete Carroll, who is not a happy camper. No question about it.
They don't seem very happy with each other.
It'd be interesting. They said nice game. Well, that's...
Listen, he had just beat the bejesus out of Pete Carroll, right? What was it, 55-21 or something like that, right? And they up there still scoring late and stuff like that, man. Pete Carroll was mad than a mother, right? And then Jim's up there all jovial and stuff. Hey, look at him running around there. Like, come on, man. You know you're going to have to answer the pipe with Pete Carroll. And he's up there talking about, how you feeling today? Come on, man. You seen the handshakes that these guys have had over the past? They had one handshake. This shit was like, why were you shaking hands with your old arms extended and shit like that, bro? They shaking hands from 7 feet away with some go-go gadget arms, right? These guys don't like each other. That's who you want to replace Pete Carroll? And then you try to put him up in the front office to placate some shit? You think he's going to sign off on that? Come on, man. There's plenty of good candidates out there. Let's start with Eric Bieniemy. That seemed to be the name that came up the most, at least on the video that I did, right, about Pete Carroll being ousted there. And you know what? I'm not so sure I like Eric. I don't like Eric Bieniemy for Seattle. For the first and foremost, right? Now let's check this out, right? Full transparency, y'all know that Andy Reid is my all-time favorite coach. Eric Bieniemy is an Andy Reid disciple. I am a huge Eric Bieniemy fan just from that standpoint alone, right? So for the Seattle Seahawks, I don't like it for a myriad of reasons. Now, Seattle Seahawks known at one particular point in time as one of the best ground and pound teams there. A lot of the fans would really get mad this past season at the amount of runs, right? They say, man, why won't we lean on the run more? We have these backs, right? They had Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker, DJ Dallas. They didn't play Kenny McIntosh. It's crazy to me there. But they have some very talented backs. An offensive line looks like it should be able to get after it in the run, but they were definitely reliant on a pass. But not like this. Check this out. Look who's at the bottom of the NFL in run-pass ratio. That would be the Washington Commanders there. 36% of the time they ran the ball. 64% of the time they threw the ball. Good Lord. That is finesse as hell. And then if you add in, right, if you take into account, right, he was working with Sam Howell, a young QB like that. Sam Howell put up some pretty good yardage. He had 20 touchdowns, but he also had 19 interceptions. 20 touchdowns and 19 interceptions there for a man who did not lean on the run at all, who has some very good running backs. Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson. I love that running back duo there. Brian Robinson is the dude. Antonio Gibson is one of the most talented backs in the league. He could be a wide receiver and would be dope. 220-something pound guy like that. You can't lean on a couple of 225-pound running backs there. You want to be that finesse and have your quarterback sacked 15 million times and throw 19 interceptions? I don't know about that from the Seahawks standpoint, right? In Philly, I wouldn't mind him being a Philly coach. All right, he came from the Andy Reid playbook right there. We were finesse a whole bunch of times up on the Andy Reid. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is there. But look at these teams up here. You talk about run-pass ratios. Baltimore running the ball 52% of the time. They look like the best team in the league, right? Yeah, Chicago at 51%. San Francisco, right? The arch nemesis there, 50.4% of the time. They run more than they pass, right? Very balanced, but slightly leaning towards more run. Think about that. Where is Seattle? Seattle towards the bottom, 39% of the time. So I see why you guys were mad. Y'all not too far from Eric Bieniemy anyway. So I don't know. Y'all want to do that? So people are going to say, oh, it's because they were losing a lot. That's not necessarily the case, right? That's what they do. Look at Kansas City, Kansas City would do this anyway, but they're a winning team, obviously. They're in the playoffs, and they threw the ball 60% of the time. They ran 39.6% of the time. So very similar to Washington there. That's what these guys do. Bieniemy wanted to prove that he could coach quarterbacks. And the way to prove that is to throw the ball a lot. Show these different passing schemes. He's got some really good passing schemes. Very creative in that standpoint, in that manner there. But he's a former running back, one of the better running backs you saw in college when he was at Colorado, and he doesn't like to run the ball. How's that going to go? It's not going to be a deep dive film study. We'll do that on whoever the actual replacement is for Pete Carroll. But you have to take into account that that man does have some dope-ass throwing concepts. He can really get it done through the air. He's extremely aggressive, and I like how he targets the middle of the field. I know the Seahawks were like that as well. On this one right here, man, you could just see pretty much 3 in-breaking routes here, and they have the tight end in the slot. They have Jahan Dotson, my man, in the tight slot right here, and then Curtis Samuel there, putting pressure in man coverage, especially if they can catch you in man coverage. They're going to make you show that you can defend, and getting people matched up on the safeties there. Look at that, bang, on the inside route right there. I could definitely imagine that being somebody like Noah Fant. I think if Noah Fant catches something like that with his type of speed and athleticism, he might take it to the crib. But, yeah, definitely likes to slant and or target the middle of the field. If you try to run middle field closed on him, they will target the hedges, though, and really get you. But they definitely want to catch you and kind of make you come up out of that zone. Really like this concept right here. You get that fade on the outside. You get an in-breaking route right here by the tight end. Then you get a widening and almost like an adjustment here. I'm not sure how you run this right here. It takes a wide approach just to get it vert and bend it back on the inside. Once again, getting your receiver matched up with a safety here, or the third safety in the game, Sidney Brown. And, yeah, it's definitely not something that Philly want to see. Again, look at that. Banged them to the inside right there. You catch them in a combination coverage right there. My man's already out leverage. Great throw right here by Sam Howell. Puts it up on him there. There is nothing really bad you can say about Eric Bieniemy. I wonder this, though, about him and the fan base. You know, have people, he's always talking about race. Well, listen. Don't watch me. I'm going to do what I do. You ain't learned this by now. I'm 11 years in this business, and I've been on the same type of time for my entire life before I got in the business, and definitely in the business. I'm going to talk about what I talk about right here, right? Me covering this Seattle Seahawks team, I've seen certain trends there. Now, it's not going to be everybody. Not everybody's guilty of anything, right? You can't say that everybody does the same thing. But you'd be a fool, right? People bring me this stuff. I see it myself. All right, I get it myself. I covered Geno Smith at the quarterback position for Seattle, and I see some of the stuff that he gets there. Eric Bieniemy being a guy in a position of power, right? A leadership position, the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks there. Man, I don't know. I seen it not work out good for Clint Hurt. I seen it not work out good for Ken Norton, right? It's like, if you're not popping as a black coach or or Geno Smith, right? Don't mention no damn Russell Wilson. Come on, right? He does not compare to that, right? He's a cornball. He's the safe guy, right? He's not totally black anyway, but he's the cornball guy, the token guy. Hey, go Hawks! Come on, man. Like, don't play me like that, bro. I'm talking about a guy like Eric Bieniemy. People are going to bring up his past transgressions if stuff don't go well, right? If stuff does not go well, if it doesn't go well, they're going to start talking about shit from 1981. They still bring up Geno Smith's DUI when shit's going bad and why did he get the job and all this and that. Like, that shit is goofy, man. That is goofy, right? And I will say it again, right? I don't think people don't understand. Eric Bieniemy right now is in the city, right? He's in Prince George's County, Maryland, but it's DC metro area right there, right? It's probably 60-something% black in that area, right? You know what I'm saying? That's where he's at, right? The fan base and everything. You look in the crowd and all that there. To me, if he can't get that job, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Take that out, right? The Commanders actually need a coach. He's already in the building. He's already coaching that offensive side of the ball. He's familiar with the defensive players there. They get the scheme against his offense in practice. So they get to see everything about this guy, how he carries himself. He's a no-nonsense kind of guy. He wears on people. You get a lot of negative publicity about Eric Bieniemy. Right? He's not buddy coach. He wants the best from you. He's a former player, one of the better running backs you saw in that time period back when he was at Colorado back in the day in the 90s. The guy It's just he's just one of them types, right? So straight up. So when shit goes bad, then what? Everything's hunky-dory when shit is going well. It's not guaranteed to go well all the time. Then what? Or is there going to be enough patience there? Is it going to be the least going to be there? Or they're going to already talk about firing him and wanting somebody else, right? Geno Smith, he was having a comeback player of the year season, and people still couldn't wrap their brains around him being there and being the quarterback. They nitpick every single thing, bringing up past transgressions and all this and that. That's because they didn't want him there. This might not even be these people's fault, right? Sometimes you're just a product of your environment, right? People like to come to me and tell me all this and that. I do know this, right? There's a 7% black people in Seattle. It's 4% black people in the state of Washington. These are actual statistics there, right? I mean, I'm coming from a spot, I used to live in Baltimore, right? There's over 60-something%, right? Right, out here in Philly and like that, right? Same deal. Minority, majority cities and stuff like that. It's just a different way of operating. So not to say that it can't work out from that standpoint. I just have my reservations about it working out there, and especially somebody like an Eric Bieniemy. So that's my only point. Not saying that somebody black shouldn't or won't coach in Seattle. These are just my thoughts on the subject, and I just wonder how it will eventually go if it does not go well. So, you know what I mean, you ain't got to like it, but you got to respect it. From an on-field standpoint, I would like to see him run the ball a little bit more, but his passing schemes are the truth there. That would definitely work out well in Seattle with the type of weapons that they have. It would actually be kind of fun to watch, that passing shit. But the running aspect of it, I don't know. People will get frustrated with that, especially if they're losing and the quarterback is getting sacked, whomever the quarterback is that he picks there. And and it'll be all on him because he'd be the head coach, not the OC. So the head coach calling his own plays and all that there. So and that's a lot of pressure right there. So I don't know. Would I like to see it happen? It'll be fun to watch. Like I said before, with the personnel that they have, it will be fun to watch, no doubt about that. But I have my reservations about it. That's just me. All right? Let me know what you think. Yes, I will get to Dan Quinn. Yes, I will get to Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel. I actually put out a poll. Go vote in that poll and stuff like that. And, of course, when you put out a poll and you name a whole bunch of people, you got to have other people who come in and chime in that's not on the poll, right? So Mike McDonald, all these guys like that. You're hearing some more. Jim Harbaugh, of course, I talked about there, not breaching that, right, or broaching that unless he's the actual pick. So we'll see. All right. Your boy Jersey Murf doing my 1-2 thing as always, man. I appreciate you guys out there. I appreciate everybody out there that's supporting. As always, man, salute.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.